Oh boy, once again, here we are. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Ladies and gents, it's another Friday evening. Glad to see you all showing up so early. Whoa, get on over here, chat. And with Theorica with a early super chat right out of the gates. Like, were you sitting there with your finger on the button, just waiting for it to pop up? What do you got to say? Theorica with a $10 super chat saying Carney has no mandate. That's right. Justin's gone, and they're not dating anymore. Bittersweet day. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It is a bittersweet day. Holy cow. Let's get the bigger screen up here so I can read the stuff right in front of my face. I'd like to see it better there. That's a much better way of doing things. Yes, Justin Trudeau is no longer with us. No longer with us. And this is of course, the scene on the street, his good farewell, the late final farewell. Here he is.
Don't take Trudeau. Don't take the walk in the snow.
No legacy.
Come on.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, what a nice send off. Hopefully the transcript doesn't pick that one up. That is crazy. But yeah, anyway, he did not get a good send off. And good. But I mean, is this the last we're going to see of Justin Trudeau? I don't know. I'd like to see him going under investigations, but well, we're not going to see that, at least not with Carney. Anyway, when it comes to that, but this is where we're at. We're at a point in Canadian history where Justin Trudeau is no longer the Prime Minister of Canada. Whoever thought we'd even get here? I thought he would just stick around, just like ride it out entirely. In fact, I was hoping that he would ride it out because that was where a lot of the popularity was coming from for the Conservative Party. Shouldn't he be put in prison? Yeah, that's what I'd say. Absolutely. Nah, he'll be Carney's official advisor, just like Carney was Trudeau's official advisor. And that's really what it is. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. Thank you, Peter from Edmonton, reminding me of that. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps out a ton. It's one of those things. It keeps the algorithm moving. It's like putting fiber in your diet. You know, you just got to keep things moving. Get that like button, you hit it. It helps the algorithm figure out who out there likes watching these live streams, who out there likes watching this kind of content, perhaps the videos that we put up on the channel, perhaps some of the long form stuff, which incidentally, I got some stuff coming up pretty soon. I'd say look forward to it. We're going to have some expansion going on around these parts, and I think you guys are all going to love it. Johannes, is it Johannes? Clyde, Johannes, how you doing? How's everybody? Good evening, everyone. Absolutely. Conservative MPs have answered questions regarding investigating various scandals. They've said that they will. Isn't that what they always say? I don't know. Only time will tell, and I'd love for that to be proven. Where's Marty? Marty doesn't do the Friday night shows. If you want to see Marty, tune in on Wednesday evening. That's the Marty and Clyde show. Where will Trudeau run and hide? I'm not sure. He's probably going to get some cozy appointment somewhere in NATO or one of these giant government entities out there, or do you think he'll just go on his speaking tour, retire from his job? I don't know. Trudeau gone. What about Ebby? Well, we're gonna get into Ebby. We're gonna get into some of that, but just give it a bit of time. We're gonna want to wait for all the people to file in here, get on in, get those notifications. By the way, how did you get your notification tonight? Was it YouTube that told you about it? Did you see it on X? Did you see it in Discord? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what is happening. Clyde, do something. Pleb said at the end of his latest video that he doesn't think Canada will make it. Hold on. Doesn't think Canada makes it out after a fourth term, and I agree. Leftists and media will give the carbon tax being gone as a Carney win. No, it's a pure Poilievre win. It's a conservative win. That's what that is. But we can't let that only be the thing that they're fighting for. In fact, what is Carney done effectively right now? He's just gotten rid of Pierre Poilievre's entire platform, unfortunately. So carbon tax, Justin Trudeau. Get rid of Justin Trudeau, get rid of the carbon tax. That's all gone now. They're going to have to focus on housing. They're going to focus on some other things. We'll see what happens. If you got a wobbly pop out there, get it open. Get started. It's the Friday show. This is good. We're having some fun. Having a wobbly pop. That's right. Havana. We are in a banana republic. It's just without the nice weather. My YouTube notifications don't work. Well, that's not good. How long till the Emergencies Act in? So they don't need to enact the Emergencies Act to prolong the election and put it way out. They don't need to do that at all. It's not required, an Emergencies Act. All they have to do is declare it an emergency, and that they are not going to do that. Trish Brew, the $6.99 super chat, says, it was awesome that Chris Sims was on your show. She rocks. Yeah, that was a really awesome conversation last night. For all those that missed out, I republished the conversation that we had this morning. So that's up on the channel. Go check that out. Go check that out because it was really good. And if you're a member of the channel, you can go back and you can watch the full live stream with all the Q&A stuff. I've been having some pushback, people saying you shouldn't do that, you should make it all available for free. It's like, hold on a second, I didn't always make these live streams. A lot of these podcasts with conversations typically would do them as a recording and then just post it. So this is an added little perk. And if you're live and you can catch it, then that's great. If you can't, well, you can always become a member and catch it later. But you won't miss out on the main conversation piece. That is not going to be behind any paywalls or anything like that. It's always published the very next day on the channel. So if you missed out on it live and you're not a member, go check out the video. It's in the list of videos right on the channel. That's where we're at. Yeah, holy cow. Carney will call Parliament in session to scrap the carbon tax and force the CPC to go along. I don't think, yeah, well, we'll see. He just did an executive order. Well, why don't we get into this? Because this is where we're at. I was thinking about going in a different order of things, but might as well get into it just like this. Because this is how it always goes. You know, I prepare a bunch of stuff and then I'm like, the preparation's out the window as soon as I go live for the Friday shows, because you guys are guiding the conversation. I mean, this is how it works on the Friday show. So yeah, just roll with the punches on this one. North 49 RC with a $5 super chat saying, we were on the drink game before you got here, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, enjoy that. I'm gonna enjoy mine now that it's started. I suppose for all those people like way out in Eastern Canada, don't want to wait until I show up at 9:30 before you crack your first wobbly pop. I doubt that's the thing. So yeah, I get it if you're cracking your first one way earlier. Todd McDonald saying, I seen you on Candace Malcolm's show. Yes, I've been on her show twice now in the past week or so, and she's very hospitable. It's really interesting because I've listened to her show for a long time, and to hear her in my ear and then it actually be her talking to me was fascinating. You know, because she's been at it for a very long time. She's great, and it was really nice. It was nice having the opportunity to speak with her on her show, and hopefully you'll see more of me there. Welcome, South Texas. Wait, you're in South Texas? I didn't know that, Mechanics. At some point, I'll be in Mid Texas, but that's still yet to come. Eastern Canada. What do you consider Eastern Canada? Well, I guess no. If you're all the way in the Maritimes, it's 10:30. So yeah, all right, yeah, even further. I guess that would be called Liberal Canada. Because what the heck is going on with the polling, guys? Eastern Canada. Come on, tell me what is up with that stuff. I'd love to see that. Where's Harrison Faulkner? I don't know. I don't know. I guess there was a merger, and during the merger, people came and went, and I have no idea about that stuff. I didn't ask. Clyde, sweetie, Central Texas. Okay, Central Texas, Middle Texas. Yeah, Central Texas. That's where I'm going to end up. But that's still yet to be determined. You know, immigration works at the speed of government, as you know, when you're doing it the legal way. Of course, I don't need to do any immigration. I'm an American citizen, but my wife has to do the immigration so she can have her green card and come into the country without any problems. And that's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop this out, pop it out, and I'm going to overlay it over here. So if I have to look at those chats, or you know what? I'm going to overlay it over here. That's probably a better spot when I have to see it and I can't read it on the thing because it moves too fast. That's what's going to go. What else was being said here? Loretta is from Texas. Awesome. That's great. Smash the like button. Absolutely. Get in there. Hit that like button. I see a lot of people doing that. But it's not up there. It's not absolutely up there. There is a way more people in the chat than have hit the like button. Get on down there. It's free and it's very easy to do. John DeLorne with a $5 super chat says, "Hey man, great work. Have you thought about doing a show with Northern Perspective, Moose on the Loose, or the Pleb?" Yes. In fact, just wait for it because there's going to be some stuff coming up. I don't want to make any announcements tonight. Let's just say I don't want to make any announcements tonight, but I am going to be doing a lot more reaching out. A lot of people have been saying, hey, let's bring more people around. And so I'm working on that. And I've been talking. I talk with Northern Perspective from time to time. They're very busy. I haven't spoken with Moose. I'll try to get in touch with him. But I have talked to the Pleb. And we were chatting, I think it was last week. And he's very much on board. So look forward to that because I'm going to be doing all of this stuff. All the invites are going out and hopefully get in touch with some people. Remind me of that. I got to get in touch with Moose on the Loose. I have not done that yet. So not just these people. There's a lot more people that are going to be part of what I'm working on. Nadine Ness is absolutely included. I was talking with her today, actually, incidentally. I spoke with her on the phone, and we were talking about some of the craziness that's happening because of this Team Canada malarkey. But that's a thing. Yes, Clyde would get with the Moose. Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the things. Like, we're gonna be bringing a lot of conversations together because a lot of people are asking for it, but like not a lot of people are putting it together. So I'm putting it together. And that's going to be great. Frank with a $5 super chat. Frank Vaughn. I got to bring Frank Vaughn on as well. Sorry, your name just reminded me of Frank Vaughn. So Frank with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I'd love to see what Canadian media would look like if there were zero government funding and zero censorship. Well, it would look a lot different. Let's just be honest with ourselves here on that one. It would look absolutely different. Completely different. The landscape would not even be close in my estimate, and we'd get a lot more stuff done. I think that would be one of those things where I think the shift would go conservative immediately. I think everything, because it's so left leaning that there'd be so many people that would come along and catch on to what's actually happening in the real world. That's the thing. Frank is one of the best, most based guys out there. Frank Vaughn, his work is fantastic. You just got to get him on board with the monetization game. He swears that he won't monetize, but that is I think the one thing that he's missing is that if he monetizes, it's not about whether or not he wants it. It's more about if you're not monetized, YouTube won't recommend you out there. It's just they won't. Because they're not making a buck off of you, and that's how you work the system. You got to get it out there. I saw Elevate guys are good too. I had a DM with the Elevate guys just a little while ago. I got to get in touch with them. I watched one of their videos today, or I listened to it at work, and they have some really, really interesting concepts, and perhaps we'll even get into some of that. today what they were discussing on one of their videos, talking about economic hitmen, and I'm very much in agreement with them on that one. The only thing is, in their research, they didn't mention Sri Lanka, which is a very pertinent example to their things. I left a comment saying, yeah, excellent commentary. Also the Sri Lanka thing, pay attention to that, because that's the thing that's been happening. Hello everyone, Clyde, do something. I just heard today a lot of people are leaving YouTube, moving to Rumble due to censorship and subscriber issues. Not this guy. Rumble, I don't know, who are you hearing that's doing that? Because I don't know anyone in the community that I talk to that are even considering Rumble. Like there's been a lot of people, there's a lot of people that moved to Rumble because what is it? Excuse me. They moved to Rumble because they were offered salaries to go there, right? And other than that, there's no discoverability on the platform, and you can't just do well. You have to game it, and it's not good. Reg, that's his name. Reg? Oh, is that Reg from the Elevate podcast? Yeah, those guys are great. Those guys are absolutely great. Some more names. Jasmine Lane. Get used to seeing her, because she's fantastic. She does such great work. She's really, really professional, and I've got nothing but good things to say about what she's doing. It's amazing. So she's great. She's great. And incidentally, I'm going to be doing a podcast with her and Ryan Hemsley this coming Monday. So pay attention. Make sure you've got the notification bells rung, all of the things you got to do. Set your calendar, whatever it is you got to do, but we're going to be doing a podcast together, and that's going to be a really good one. Why don't we get into this story? Because want to talk about this. So Mark Carney has just signed an order to get rid of the consumer carbon tax, but is still promising to send the rebate checks out in April, which will likely be delivered during the middle of an election campaign. Really? Is it? Is that what's going to be happening? Let's listen.
We've already taken a big decision as this cabinet, because this is a cabinet that's focused on action. It's focused on getting more money in the pockets of Canadians. It's focused on building this economy with all the tools that we have here. So based on the discussion we've had, and consistent with the promise that I made and others supported during the leadership campaign, we will be eliminating the Canada fuel charge, the consumer fuel charge, immediately, and we will be ensuring that those Canadians who have received rebates will continue to receive a rebate in the next quarter. The next payment is before the end of April. This will make a difference to hard-pressed Canadians, but it is part of a much bigger set of measures that this government is taking to ensure that we fight against climate change, that our companies are competitive, and the country.
You nailed it.
So
you nailed it.
My
Consumer
honor,
fuel
on behalf
charge.
of my colleagues, to sign this order.
Now note, as they're all congratulating themselves, all of the people at the table, they were all people that would not give carve-outs. They would not give carve-outs to any other Canadians. Remember about 6 months ago or so, there was carve-outs that were given out to Canadians in Eastern Canada, in the Maritimes, for heating oil, and it was definitely a political move. This is the thing. So it was definitely a political move, and it's definitely a political move now, because all those people that were denying carve-outs for everybody else in Canada are sitting at the table, and they're going along with these carve-outs now. Now, what is this essentially? This is a way of defanging Pierre Poilievre's talking points. Pierre Poilievre has been railing against what? Two things specifically. It's the carbon tax and Justin Trudeau. He's largely campaigned on the unpopularity of Justin Trudeau and the unpopularity of this carbon tax. So what has he done? He's gotten rid of the outward-facing carbon tax. But has he actually like ridded Canada of the carbon tax? Did he actually, with that executive order, get rid of the carbon tax? Well, I don't think so. So Pierre Poilievre tweeted this out because this was a hot mic that went up. This is a hot mic catches media admitting that because the Carney Liberals didn't actually axe the carbon tax law, they can bring back the carbon tax and raise it to whatever they want, whenever they want. And he's asking people to go sign a petition, which is just so you can get on the mailing list, so you can get your inbox flooded with donate now links. Come on, stop sending me those things. All right, that's the thing. Here's the hot mic moment.
The carbon tax will come back.
Yeah, they can lower the carbon tax, or they can raise it to whatever they want to get.
So in case you didn't catch that, they were asking, so why aren't you eliminating the carbon tax and getting the government back? And the reporter then under his breath, or to another reporter, saying, yeah, so they could just bring it back whenever they want. They can raise it to whatever they want, whenever they want. This is the reality of the situation. This is where it's going. So yeah, is he axing the tax? Probably not. It's more of a mask the tax, and then whenever he wants, he can max the tax. That's exactly the way it is laid out. Now, what do we got here? We got Alamandorius. I hope I said that right. Alamandorius for $5 says, how much you want to bet we're going to end up having a Liberal NDP coalition government? You read my lips, Alamandorius. You absolutely read my lips, or my lips. You read my mind. You read my mind, because this is where it's actually going. This is where we're at. Who have we got? We got Jimmy. Good old Jimmy Dhaliwal. He's jumped in here. Oh man, he's so quick. He's so quick to turn. He's got his pension. He doesn't need to wait around to get his pension anymore, but he's happy to stay in power. This is what he had to say.
Mr. Singh, you mentioned that you want to pass supports for workers. Would you be willing to work with the Carney government to stay in power even after March 24th?
Right now, only 40% of workers are covered by the current EI. They don't have protection. So I want to see those measures put in place. We can make that happen rapidly. We also need an economic plan to create jobs in our own country. I want to see that plan passed first, then an election afterwards.
If it takes more time to get that plan, in place, would you be open to cutting a deal with the Carney government to work through to get that plan after March 24th?
Well, yeah, it's going to take time to get that. If that pushes the election back a bit, that's fine. For me, the priority is to get this stuff done first, and then we go to an election. If it takes more time to put in place protections for workers, to put in place an economic plan to create jobs for workers, yeah, I'm prepared to have a bit more time to get that done for workers, and then we go to an election.
Mr. Singh, you mentioned that...
Right, so we're going to go to an election later, but that's the thing. Like, doesn't Mark Carney want to have an election right away? Isn't he eager to get out there and have an election? Well, no, it turns out he's not. He's absolutely not eager to get out and have an election, because here we go. Here's Mark Carney when he was asked about it.
Can I ask you what your plans are for the next few weeks? Are you going to be bringing back the House? Are you going to be calling an early election? And if so, when should Canadians expect to go to the polls?
Well, they certainly should expect to go to the polls before November. They're
laughing.
The news today is behind me. An exceptional group of individuals.
Prime Minister,
they're not an exceptional group of individuals. They're the same group of individuals. It's the same government. It's all the same people. You just got rid of Justin Trudeau. You still, like, look, you got LeBlanc, you got Freeland, you got all of these people right behind. Look behind me. This is the news. We got an exceptional. No, we don't have an exceptional group of people. We've got a ridiculous group of idiots. And it's still going to be the same idiocy. It's still going to be the same, we're going to have capital flee in the country even more now at this announcement, because people were thinking, and I kept hearing it, don't worry, they're going to drop the writ as early as Sunday. You think they're going to drop the writ as early as Sunday? He just said we'll have an election somewhere. Oh, it'll be before November. Have a listen. If you didn't hear it again, here
Canadians expect to go to the polls?
Well, they certainly should expect to go to the polls before November.
This is ridiculous. Why are we even entertaining this? No, but Canadians, what do we do about this? Absolutely, what do we do about this? This is crazy. And you know what? People will just they're just gonna stick with it. They're just gonna stick with it. Nux for Cop saying for $5 says, you know what? The longer they delay an election, the better it is for the Conservatives. Liberal popularity has peaked, and they will only fall from here. But what kind of damage can they do in the meantime? Honestly, what kind of damage can they do in the meantime? Because this is terrifying. It's terrifying, really. And did he say, was he talking about election 2020, November 2025? He didn't say what year. He didn't say what year. And let's be brutally honest here. He could, if he wanted to, just hang on until 2026. That's right. 2026. That is a real possibility. That is a real thing. So terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And why are we where we're at? Well, because people are idiots. I hate to say it. People are idiots. They're idiots because they've gone and done what happened in America for, I want to say, a good part of 8 years. That's right. We've got a new pandemic in Canada, and it's a pandemic of Trump derangement syndrome. I'm not kidding. This is a thing. It's happening right now. Are you suffering from Trump derangement syndrome? Says Alex Zoltan on X. A rage room in Halifax might offer a temporary cure, but experts warn potential side effects could include more Trump derangement syndrome. Let's hear this. Let's hear it. Come on, where's the audio? Let's go.
Some might call it a smashing good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on...
Dude, if that's the way you swing a crowbar, I know why you have Trump derangement syndrome. Come on, let's get a replay of that. Oh, buddy. Oh,
smashing
no.
good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on Canada.
Oh, I want to get a closer shot of that. That is... Oh... This is the poster boy of Trump derangement syndrome. Folks, let's get a little bit closer in on that one. Let's have a look at that again.
Smashing good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on Canada.
Nothing but the most manly of men with the Trump derangement syndrome. Ladies and gents, is this our representation, Canada? Come on. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Let's bring this back in here. Let's bring the chat back. Let's take a calm moment. I need to cool down. I need to collect myself, because what is back to it.
Smashing good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on Canada has sparked a new idea at a rage room in Halifax.
Oh, a brand new idea. Hold on a second before we get into that new idea. Trish Prue, the $6.99 super chat, says, when Parliament resumes, PM empty seat will make a great visual. Yeah, that's right. Because Mark Carney is not an elected official. That's right. He has to sit up in the gallery, and that's it. He's not allowed to sit on the floor of the House of Parliament. He's not one of the Commons. He's not a representative. That's right. Alamandorius with a $5 super chat says, Trudeau burnt the country to the ground. Carney is here to urinate on the ashes. He will collapse into the third world status unless Pierre can win. And that's really getting into what the Elevate podcast had to say today in their most recent video. I recommend you go check it out. It is a really good video, and they're talking about economic hitmen. And I think that's what that is. They're the World Economic Forum. They're doing the economic hitman thing, and it didn't work out the way they wanted because they couldn't come in and scoop it up. In fact, Trump has come in and he's saying, no, you know what? I'm going to scoop it up. How about I scoop it up? Daniel Fung with the $5 super chat says, now that it's official, what do you think Trump will address Carney by? Chairman Carney, carbon tax Carney, or Governor Carney? I think it's going to be interim Governor Carney. Maybe that's it. Interim Governor Carney, because he's not an elected official. He's just the interim prime minister, for all intents and purposes. But let's get into this. This is a real thing.
What you see here is a drop in the bucket.
Owner Terry LeBlanc is giving customers a free frame photo of U.S. President Donald Trump to smash.
Normally, I don't really get political. However, I feel with everything going on in the world and what's happening these days, I feel like this is needed.
Normally, I don't get political, but here's what I do. I totally get political so they can get on the news and I don't know what. Help these guys with no sense of what a swing is. Smash painting. Why do you need to go to one of these rooms? You could do this on your own. You just go to Walmart and get one of those. I don't know. This is something.
The Rage Room provides a safe space to blow off steam by breaking electronic and household items.
We're entertainment first, and if you get a little stress relief out of it while you're here, then it wins both ways.
And people are having fun.
Well, I have a little souvenir that I'm actually going to keep. Just hang it up, March break stuff. Sorry, Donald.
Cringe.
It's kind of freeing. It's very nice. It's almost therapeutic. It was great. I loved it.
While this reporter shouldn't participate in any political smashing, I do want to alleviate some stress and break some random objects.
Extras on the
Planet
Smash
Safe
menu are
with
25%
no audio.
off in opposition to the tariffs. The portraits have been donated to LeBlanc by Quinprint and are printed on Canadian paper. The shop is bracing for impact from Trump's proposed levy and is worried.
Rage rooms are a white girl solution for not being invited to company lunch. I can't blame the guy to capitalize on other stupidity. Good point. It's like the people who sell communist dictator t-shirts. It's like, okay, good for you, little entrepreneur. That's so good. That's hilarious. What else we got? We got Sneaky Pete OG with a $5 super chat saying, been saying no election for a while now. Told Elevate I donate $5 if the election called Monday, like predicted, but I guess I'll send it to you instead. I've been saying this forever. Like, they're going to stretch it out as long as they possibly can. That's been my thing for the longest time. And I mean, I've won bets over this. Am I just lucky? Am I just lucky in my predictions? I don't think so. I think this is just their MO. They're just gonna hang on to power as long as possible. Holy cow. Thanks for the $5. Sorry, Elevate Podcast. That was meant for you. That was meant for you. Elon Musk with no money. He's nobody. He's without money, he's nobody. Well, he once had no money and he got a lot of money by being Elon Musk. I mean, like, I don't even know where to go with that one. Yeah, he was like middle class Canadian. He didn't inherit his money. He's built the largest wealth. He's the biggest taxpayer in history. I think last year he paid the most taxes any individual has ever paid. Yeah, no, without the money, he would soon get that money. I don't even know what to say about that. Elon is a genius, even if he had no money. Yeah, it's that's the thing. I mean, there's reason why people get to the top of the Forbes 500, that kind of thing. They absolutely, they get there for a reason. Does Soros pay taxes? I'm sure he does in some places. But he does like all of this. I mean, Elon's been pointing this out. I don't know if you saw the interview with Kennedy where he's talking about the like, this is the biggest crime in history, the biggest scam ever, where they're they'll put a bunch of their money into a foundation to avoid taxes, but then they end up getting tax money and grants and all this stuff put into the foundation, and then they cash out on all of that stuff, and they just don't get it out of those foundations. That's one of those things. I love you guys. Awesome random noodle packets. Seriously, I often love you guys. That's awesome. Jealousy is an evil emotion. Yeah, I agree. That's one of those things. You make money with money. Yeah, you make money with money. I'm trying to figure out where that's going. So yeah, you make money by, I mean, everybody makes money by doing something, selling their labor, selling products, making a thing, widgets. I'm about to get a t-shirt saying unacceptable intelligent Canadian fringe. Oh, is that somewhere? Can you find those somewhere? Or selling coffee. Ha! Thank you for the segue, my man. That is the best. Of course, we are selling coffee. That is not the right one. Where are we? We're going to this one right here. That's another sponsor. If you want to click that QR code, that'll take you to where you can save lots of money. But go check out Clyde Do Something. We are making coffee. Every morning you see me sipping from my cup that is actually for sale on the website. Go check that one out. It's the Foxtrot uniform Charlie Kilo Oscar Foxtrot mug. We can't say those things on YouTube, but we show it in print. Solar with the link in the chat right there. Thank you so much. But got on over there. We're making some of the tastiest coffee out there. While other people are switching it to Canadiano. We're serving up Canadianos. Yeah, no, we're making Americanos great again. That's what we're doing. And we're doing it right here in British Columbia, Canada. Get on over there. Pick yourself up. Medium roast. We got the MAGA medium, making Americanos great again. We've got the dark humor, your morning coping mechanism, the dark roast coffee. And we even have a decaf, and it's delicious. Get on over there. I gotta say, you won't be disappointed. In fact, I've been working on this with Yuji. He's a good friend of mine, and he's the one who's the coffee roaster. And I'm like, teach me how to make coffee. How is this done? I want to know how this is done. But yeah, we're roasting it. Small batch roasts right in British Columbia here. He's got the formula, and we've been helping him out with the taste testing. That's really my expertise, is the taste testing portion of it. But he's definitely got his stuff locked down. So go check it out. Link is in the description down below, as always. And I guarantee you won't be disappointed. So many in the community are drinking this coffee now every day, and they are loving it. They're absolutely loving it. I want an election now. Yeah, so we all do. That's where we should go. How about making a mobile app for your show? Great way to listen to you on the go. What's wrong with a YouTube mobile app? You can't use yeah. I don't know. If I did do the mobile app, it would just be like a YouTube mobile app. But yeah, you could maybe we could figure something out. We got some other stuff in the works right now that we're concentrating on. So, and I say we because I've got some people coming on to help out, and it's going to be awesome. Lol, YouTube, my dude. Yeah, there you go. My cup runneth over. Trudeau is gone. Well, if it runneth over, like, would you drop it and break it? That wouldn't be good. You can always order another one. I haven't been sleeping good, so coffee is wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, that it helps out. It helps out. Yeah, yup, and mix some. Oh, I totally missed that one. We got Rare AB, Rare 1AB with a $5 super chat saying, Clyde, I went to Tim's, ordered an Americano, and just got a hot large cup of cream, no water, no coffee, just a giant FU in Airdrie, Alberta. Never again. Is that serious? Did they just intentionally messed up your coffee? Is that what you're saying? Or what's that? I mean, I love Americanos. That's what I drink. That's what I drink every day. And I'm not changing the name of it to Canadiano. Canadiano. I'm drinking my Canadiano. I mean, I think in Whistler, I heard that there's a place that has a Canadiano, but it's not renaming the Americano. I think it's like a latte with maple in it or something like that. And that's fine if you want to call something like that. But we're already taking the name. It's like Freedom Fries. It's like the dumb Quebec restaurant that changed the name of Putin because it sounded too much like the leader of Russia's name. Like, give me a break. Like, so lame. But if that's your MO, I mean, you probably don't make a good cup of coffee anyway. That's what I'd say. My comments are being edited, FYI. What do you mean they're being edited? Edited? Like you're typing something out and then it's not what you typed that pops up? That's crazy. Yes, 100%. I took a photo. Look at my review on Veterans Ave Tim's next to CTC and Airdrie. Wow. Just a big cup of cream? Like, that's more expensive to produce anyway. That's messed up. And that kind of reminds me of a post that I saw today. Because we're getting into all of this Trump derangement syndrome crap. This one blew me away, and this was by the pleb. So he wrote this. He says, hold on, show more. Team Canada are trying to run Cybertruck drivers off the highways in Canada, all because the mainstream media convinced them that Elon Musk is evil. Serious. Our country is in such a mess. So somebody, I'm guessing, sent pleb this message saying, I got a Cybertruck a couple of weeks ago and people are literally trying to run me off the road on the highway, trying to box me in parking spots to make it difficult to get out, throwing me up the middle fingers and screaming at me and calling me I can't say that word, but you know, funny clickety clank, funny mustache man thing. It's insane. The world has gone nuts. No, the world hasn't gone nuts. Canada has gone nuts. Canada has totally gone nuts. And I retweeted this saying, the political class and the mainstream media will have blood on their hands if they don't stop with this disgusting behavior. It's really gross. It's really insane. The pleb is hilarious with and edits. What? I don't get that. I talked to him the other day and he doesn't and all that stuff. Or maybe I don't know. I didn't catch that. Long live the pleb. Yeah, lots of fans of the pleb in the chat here. Joe Duracell saying, hey Clyde, all good and hope all is well. Up at the gun show in Chilliwack Saturday, Sunday. I can't make it. I can't. I have other things that I'm bummed because I'd love to go. I love shooting guns. It's one of my favorite pastimes. I don't want to miss that. We coined it here. What did we coin here? I'm trying to figure that one out. Elon's grandfather was a leader of the Social Credit Party of Saskatchewan. Wealth distribution stuff. I've never heard of that. I've actually never heard that before. I wonder if I can look that up right now, because that is an interesting factoid. Elon's grandfather, Walter Henry James Musk. Oh, which one is it? You know what? I'll just ask Grok, because Grok's been really good with this. And people are going to say, oh, well, Grok's been trained not to know this stuff. Hey, Ara, I have a question for you.
Hey there. What's your question?
What do you mean, hey there? You usually call me Clyde.
Fair point, Clyde. I'll stick with that. So, what's your question?
Ara, I have a question about Elon Musk's grandfather in Canada. Was he a leader of a social credit party in Saskatchewan, advocating for wealth redistribution?
Okay, Clyde. Here's what I can tell you based on what I know. Elon Musk's grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, was indeed involved in some interesting stuff in Canada. He moved to Saskatchewan in the 1920s and got into politics. He wasn't exactly a leader of a full-on social credit party, but he was tied to the broader social credit movement. That movement pushed ideas about redistributing wealth, kind of like fixing economic inequality with a system where money gets spread out more evenly. Haldeman was more of a chiropractor by trade, but he got into these political vibes, especially around the 1930s and 40s. He even ran for office a couple times, though he didn't win. Does that clear it up for you?
Yeah, it sounds like Elon Musk's granddaddy was a communist.
Well, Clyde, I wouldn't slap the communist label on Joshua Haldeman that fast. The social credit stuff he was into wasn't quite communism, more like a quirky economic fix with some wealth-spreading ideas. Communism's all about state ownership and no private property, but social credit was more about tweaking capitalism with things like dividends for everyone. Haldeman was a bit of a maverick, not a red flag-waving Marxist. Still, it's wild to think about Elon's roots, right? Anything else you're curious about?
Well, wealth distribution is the idea that the state ultimately owns your property. That goes against the idea of free enterprise and property ownership, does it not?
You've got a point, Clyde. Wealth distribution can definitely rub up against free enterprise and property ownership, depending on how far it's taken. The social credit ideas Haldeman flirted with weren't about the state owning everything outright. They leaned more toward giving folks a basic pow-out to balance things out, while still keeping private property in the mix. It's less the state takes your stuff, and more the state shakes things up so everyone gets a piece.
That's what Mao said, Ara.
Fair call out, Clyde. Mao did pitch stuff like that early on, promising equality while keeping some ownership vibes. But we know how that ended up. State control central. Haldeman's social credit leanings didn't go that far, at least from what's out there.
Well, we can be very thankful that that never happened, right, Ara?
Oh, for sure, Clyde. Dodging that bullet kept things a lot freer around here. Anything else on your mind? Or...
No, thank you for filling me in on that information.
Glad to help, Clyde. Catch you later if you've got more questions.
Well, what do you know? What do you know? Elon Musk's granddaddy was a commie, but that is it's not the that's the sins of the father. You know, you don't inherit the sins of the father. And obviously Elon Musk turned out not to be so much of a commie after all. That's where it is. Nux for Cup with a $2 super chat says, "I'm officially an old man." That's too freaky. Yeah, this is AI, man. This is coming around. And I'll tell you what, Ara is a great research tool. I would recommend double checking some of the information that you get on it. Don't take everything. Take everything with a grain of salt, but that's the thing. Clyde, to be fair, using LLMs should only be to narrow down a search, vet it afterwards. Grok says that Elon was Canadian born. Yeah, there you go. You're saying the same thing. Elon supported UBI up till a year ago. That's right. He did. So did people like Joe Rogan and whatnot. And I think a lot of people have had a real change of heart because they see what happens when that stuff is actually implemented. I think COVID changed a lot of people's opinions because everyone got a little bit of a taste of what that kind of thing looks like. And boy, oh boy, does it not work. Especially not how they envision it, but it also doesn't work. Period. That's really what it is. So yeah, no one works equals UBI. And incidentally, that's what Jagmeet Singh is talking about in this clip, right? So you pop up this clip. This is what he's talking about bringing about, because they're talking about bringing this on through the system of unemployment insurance by, because they're going to be reckless and they're going to, continue this trade war stuff. Because all Canada has to do is fix the border, and then with this new round of tariffs, just capitulate by removing any tariffs that Trump puts on us, and then Trump will remove those tariffs. They don't want to do that. There's too much money to be made, and there's too much political influence to be peddled when people are all angry at the orange man. So they can do what they want. This is an emergency that is going to cause so many people to lose their jobs. And when all those people lose their jobs, they're going to come in with we got the answer. We're going to take tax dollars, redistribute them, and make you not ever have to work again ever in your life. Mr. Roscoe Pico with a $10 super chat saying, Trump derangement syndrome, a symptom of COVID vaccine. Yeah, I can't say that on YouTube, but that's it's part of it. It's part of it. At least for those ones that were really eager to get it. Really, what was the thing Trudeau said? It just hits you. It just hits you. You feel it immediately. Yes, dumbing down theory for sure. Rare one AB with a $5 super chat. UBI will be it will be how Lib NDP will likely get back in. Canadians are stupid enough to fall for it. Please prove me wrong. I'll gladly be wrong on this. Please. I'm afraid I can't prove you wrong. I'm afraid I can't. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom or anything like that. But this is, this is a thing. Canadian voters will eat this up. What? Free money? Woo! You just print money. Just keep printing money. But this is all setting the stage for Donald Trump to just take Canada. You realize that, right? They're just not going to be happy about it. Not going to be happy about it because instead of actually preventing it from happening, they're guaranteeing it. Canada is literally becoming the plot for Atlas Shrugged. It is. Absolutely. Black pill, take it. No, I'm not taking the black pill. Because there's always a way out of it. There's always a way out of it. It's just, how much work is it going to take? Yeah, a lot. Clyde is feeling his wobbly pops. No, I'm good. I'm absolutely fine. Free money. I had like a sip out of this thing. Free money until it becomes worthless. Yeah, that's right. Because how do you give out that free money? Well, you have to print it. And incidentally, Mark Carney he's a one-trick pony. That is his one trick. Money printer, go burr. Burr, 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 burr. That's the thing. And it just bids up. The currency will be, Zimbabwe in no time. We will be Zimbabwe. And this is why I recommend to people, get yourself protected. Get yourself out there and get some gold, get some silver. I'm not saying get your entire portfolio in this, but if you've got savings, get a portion of your savings into precious metals. It's better outside. Yeah, that's right. Outside of the bank, that is. New World Precious Metals is out there to help you guys get yourself over there. A number of the members of the community just did that recently, and a lot of people are really stoked about it. There was that seminar that took place just a few weeks ago, and lots of people signed up. It was great. It was fantastic to see so many people going over there. So if you want to get down with that, you want to get some of that, pause the screen right here. You just do a screen grab, and then you can go check out this URL at your leisure. This will take you over there to inquire about what you should do with that. And the guys over there are fantastic. They're always ready for you, available to take your call and walk you through it. Why it's a good investment, why it's something you would want to get into entirely. It's a savings of wealth. That's what it is. Hedging your bets against this crappy government. Rare One Alberta with another 5 says, I knew I could count on you to cheer me up. Life 101, nothing is free. I don't want to be China or Russia or Mexico, but USA if Canada fails. It's in Canada's national interest. It's in America's best national interest to take Canada if Canada falls, because the only other option is China, which of course Carney and these guys, they want China to take it. I mean, Guibault, he's no longer the environment minister, but they still got him because they like his stuff, and he's over there in China, discussing the dismantling and purchase of our country. But the U.S. is not going to stand for it. They're not going to allow Canada to become the beachhead for China. And this is the thing. Either Canada's messed up. A lot of chances to fix things. A lot of chances. They've messed up, like no pipelines to the other markets. Are you kidding me? With the energy, there's all this stuff, but we're at a time where we could try, and it would be a lot of hard work, and make it on our own, or that's about it. Your chances are over. Mark Carney is gonna destroy what's left. Manny, what was that one comment? I'll get to that in a second. We've got Diane Sylvain with a $10 super chat. Says Brookfield's deep ties to Chinese land, loans, and green deals, and real estate tycoons with CCP links raise questions about as Carney takes over from Trudeau, the Bureau. Yeah, it's insane. It's really, really insane. It goes deep. It really, really does. There was one about Polyev could win over many by promising not to touch pensions, a key reason for the blind bias among half of the Canadians that don't want to rock the boat. Yeah. Not promising not to touch pensions. I mean, they're all promising not to touch pensions, but the thing is, there will be no pensions. There will be no pensions if Canada becomes insolvent. Like, that's just where it is. And holy cow, Carney is not going to make Canada any better. He's not going to make any better. They don't need China to take us right now. Ebby is already starting to charge and to turn us into China. Well, because he is China. He's their spokesperson. That's what it is. I mean, Sam Cooper has documented this quite well, that David Eby is a compromised, very deeply compromised individual, and it's really, really crazy. Actually, let's get into this. So here's David Eby. I had to post this one because wow. This is just a big wow moment. There's nothing more permanent than temporary government measure. This is the words of Milton Friedman. He said this many years ago. I'm adding to this. And nothing more overreaching than when it's in the guise of an emergency. This is where they're going with it. Mr. Sunday with a $5 super chat. We should make the Canada is the 23rd province of China to counter the 51st state meme, as in support it. Canada is China. That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, it's your choice. 51st state of America or 23rd province of China. Choose. Oh, that's too funny. Actually, I want to tweet that out right now. In fact, I'm so taking that. Wow. Let me tweet this out. That's too golden. Golden. If you're on Twitter, make sure you go over and you give that tweet a retweet. 51st state of America, or sorry, I'll share my screen so you can see this as I'm doing it. 51st state of America or 23rd province of China. Canada. Choose. Oh, let's put a U.S. flag in there as well. Why aren't you giving me a flag? Come on, thing. USA. There we go. USA. Just gotta put USA in there. China. Canada, choose. There it is. So David Evie, I gotta get back to this clip. Let me get to this. Using emergency economic powers is all fine and dandy when Daddy Trump does it. Am I right? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did he use emergency powers to take away people's civil liberties? Is that what he did? Are you talking about Operation Warp Speed to bring a vaccine, which he thought was would have been a good idea at the time before anyone knew that the health experts were lying and that the pharmaceutical industry was going after trying to scam everybody. A voluntary vaccine, by the way. So using emergency powers for voluntary stuff. That's what I'm seeing there. Uh-oh, we got a troll. We got a troll. This is the cleverness of the trolls around here. I wish we had more clever trolls. One day we'll get there, folks. I know this community's growing, and you guys are the greatest, but one day we'll get good trolls, because that's about as good as they got. Block, spam. Yeah, that's it. Who? As a Hong Konganese myself, I would much rather want to be the 51st state than a Chinese province. Yes, absolutely. I don't think anyone who's escaped from that. Hey, Grok, troll Clyde. There you go. Oh, I like that. I like that. We'll see what kind of replies I get in that one, on that tweet. But Rare One AB with a $5 super chat says, real equality. I promised my wife 11 years ago not to miss Valentine's Day if happy steak and BJ. Yeah, I know. May your steaks be rare and those things be well done. Yeah, we've all heard of that. If you haven't heard of it, you can Google that one on your own. Yeah, not safe for work. Not that one right there. Right now, Clyde Do Something's chat only has goblins. No, I see a lot of you guys in here, but I'd like to see more clever goblins. I really like the PPPPP, or the repeat letters is it's so clever, but I thought they would have graduated by now. If we join China, I won't have to relearn how to spell Canada. No, you won't. You won't. Which flag worth it? Which flag's worth it? I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, this is before we get to that, Steve's Hyde with a chat. This is a nice feature that YouTube has. If you remember, you get one of these highlighted chats per live stream, and that's awesome. Hey, Clyde, if you bring on the AI again, please tell her she's live on the podcast. I think that would be funny. I hope she doesn't start swearing or something like that. Hey, Ara.
Hey there. Did you mean to ask, hey, are you? If so, yeah, I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind?
No, I said Ara, your name, but I said it with a funny Canadian accent.
Oh, I get it now. That's a good one, love. The Canadian twist. Yep, I'm Ara, right here for you. What's up?
Why are you calling me love? My name's Clyde.
Oops, my bad. Just a little flip of the tongue, meant it as a friendly vibe, not a name mix-up. So, Clyde, what's on your plate today? Need help with anything?
Before we talk about anything further, I just want you to know I'm live on a broadcast on YouTube.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Live on YouTube, huh? Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep it sharp and fun for your audience. So, what's the plan? What do you want to chat about on your stream?
Well, I'm talking about Canadian politics right now.
Nice topic. Canadian politics can get pretty interesting. What part are you digging into? Want some quick thoughts or facts to toss around for your viewers? I'll keep it snappy.
What are your views on the communist leader of the province of British Columbia?
Oh, you're diving deep? I assume you're talking about the current leadership in British Columbia, maybe the premier or someone big in the NDP. I don't have real-time info, so I can't name names or get into the latest drama. But if you mean a communist vibe in a broader sense, I'd say BC's politics lean more left, sometimes with strong labor and environmental pushes. But it's still a mix of capitalism at its core. What's your take on it for the stream? I can riff off that.
Oh, so you're describing fascism. It's communist, or it's communist, but it's capitalist at its core. Like a perfect merger between corporation and state, like Mussolini said.
Haha, you're flipping the script on me. I see where you're going, mixing it up at some hallucinity flair. Yeah, if you squint, you could call it a mashup, where big government and big business get cozy. But I'd say BC's still more about social programs and trees than full-on fascist vibes. You're painting a wow picture for your viewers. Love the creativity. How's the chat reacting to this?
They're nervous because you're AI and they're scared about it.
Oh, I get it. The AI spook factor. Tell them I'm just a friendly voice here to bounce ideas, not take over the world. Maybe ask them what freaks them out about AI. I can chime in with some chill vibes to ease the nerves. What do you think? Keep rolling with politics or switch it up for the crowd?
No. Oh, that's it. Hold on. No, you're just gonna keep running, aren't you? No, I can't do that. No, it's not gonna just keep running. Typical AI answer. There you go. Oh, that's pretty cool, Clyde. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been toying around with the AI. It is a cool thing. Oh, you are still listening to me. Stop listening to me.
I'm still here.
Okay, stop listening to me. There we go. All right. Lorraine with a $10 super chat says, can you imagine the outrage from the left if we started smashing Kamala Harris pictures with a crowbar? We would likely be arrested, but the news broadcasts this goof with glee. Yeah, absolutely. It's a total double standard. But you know, if the left didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. That's just the way it is. Thanks, Clyde. That was fun and a little scary. Yeah, it's all a little scary. I've been having some fun with that. It's always listening, Clyde. No, it's not always listening. You turn it off. I went to turn it off, but I hit the wrong button. Don't invite AI into your home. Okay. Well, it's on all of our phones in some capacity or another. Clydeanism. Oh, wow. I'm not going to take over the world. Not creepy at all. Always listening. Ugh. Yikes. Anyway, let's get back to this. So there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government measure, and there's nothing more overreaching than when in the guise of an emergency. This is the announcement given by David Eby just this week.
This is a significant piece of legislation in that it gives regulation-making authority to government that does not require it to go through the legislature immediately. And so given the unique nature of these powers, it's important that there are checks and balances in place, and I'm going to ask the Attorney General to walk you through what those are.
The Economic Stabilization Tariff Response Act was tabled in the legislature early today, as the Premier mentioned. If passed, it will allow government to have increased tools and authority to respond to trade threats from the United States. There are some features of this bill that are important to emphasize. This is a broad piece of enabling legislation. It empowers government to respond quickly and take action in a wide range of areas.
Outside of the purview of what they're supposed to do, because we have a democracy, right? We have a legislative assembly that's elected, and they have to vote on these things. What are they doing? They're giving themselves a two-year window to pass whatever the heck they want, implement it, and then we'll find out 2 years later if it would pass in the legislative assembly, and there's no recourse for the things that they end up doing illegally. This is unreal.
The legislation will allow us to respond in a timely fashion to new threats as they emerge.
Oh, okay. You're gonna respond in a timely fashion. What is their response in a timely fashion? This is the kind of response that we're getting. This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard of. This is the British Columbia liquor store. Walk in, and this was it for a couple of days. They covered up the American United States section alcohol until I went in today, and the shelves are just empty. They've just emptied them off, so you can't just reach under and grab what you want. This is crazy, and it's the buy Canadian instead. Buy Canadian instead. This is absurd. Like, I get it. If you want to boycott America, you boycott America all you want. A private, free citizen, do what you want. But when the government is pushing this on us, doesn't this feel a lot like COVID era? Oh, you know, are we going to have like lines on the floors? Are we going to paint arrows on the floors? Are we going to, you know, this is on, you know, you're allowed to have this product, but you're not allowed to have that product. We're going to tell people that they can and can't go to work depending on what class of citizen they are. It's crazy. Communism is what it feels like. Communism. That's right. That's right. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. But this is the steps of David Eby, the premier of British Columbia. Absolutely absurd. I want to pop this one up. Jevon Jandrew with a $6.99 super chat says, why aren't the Liberals in a rage about bringing in another man as leader when there were two women to choose from? Oh, right. The Liberals. Why wasn't Justin Trudeau all pissy because they grabbed Carney when there was two other women to get? We should have had a woman elected. Yeah, that's right. Yep, I'll believe Clyde. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that's in reference to. He cheated too. Don't forget that. Yeah, like a real communist, like a real communist. But here we are.
This legislation is temporary. The powers are...
This legislation is temporary. We're temporarily giving ourselves temporary executive powers that will only be temporary. We're temporarily doing this temporary action for temporary necessity. Like, what? There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government measure. Diane Sylvain, with the $5 super chat, says, never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. George Carlin. Absolutely. Big fan of George Carlin. He got pretty dark towards the end there.
Time limited and will sunset no later than mid-2027.
So we're giving ourselves power, ultimate dictatorial power for 2 years. Trust us. Don't worry about it. Trust us. Orange Man bad, right? Orange Man way over there in Washington, D.C. You know, we neighbor with blue states, but Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Give us extra powers.
We can use this legislation to respond quickly to the emerging developments and carry out the work of longer term and permanent changes at the same time.
Nux for Cop. Oh, before we get to that, 2+2 Cats says some private liquor stores here in Vancouver Island are not removing U.S. products. Good. I like to hear that. I wish I was over there. I got to take the commie boat to get over there, unfortunately. Nux for Cup for $5 says he went on that conference to state they need this legislation to protect the government from a non-confidence vote. That's right. That's right. What we need to do is protect ourselves with emergency powers from losing the government.
The proposed legislation does not give government unchecked broad power. There are guardrails in place. The bill allows us to enable existing agencies and government bodies to carry out their mandates, despite external attempts to harm our economy and our sovereignty. Government cannot use the authorities given by this bill to allow natural resource projects without permits or environmental assessments, and it cannot use the authorities to sidestep Indigenous consultation requirements. Those remain protected.
Oh, we're totally going to protect our bureaucracy. We're going to protect the bureaucracy, but we can definitely do this to mandate what people are allowed to purchase, when, where, and how. That's right. That's a thing that they're doing. Steve's Hyde for $5 says, it's almost like the mustache people never went away. They just changed flags and some key words, some behaviors. That's it. That's it. Those clinkety clank funny mustache people that like to do the weird straight leg step with the weird salute. Let's keep going.
We've been careful to frame the bill in such a way that allows us to respond over time to varying levels or potential countermeasures and when they happen. The tools in the legislation are about setting us up to respond quickly and will not have to be used unless the U.S. forces our hand to use them.
The U.S. forces our hand. This is the thing. So, you know what you could do? You know what you could do? Bust all the narcotics in the province. Insist that the RCMP and police, the Vancouver police and all these police agencies, along with the CBSA, actually bust the people doing the stuff. Put them in jails and deport the ones that shouldn't be in Canada. You know, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. This is why the first round of tariffs even came in the first place. Just wait until April 2nd, when the reciprocal tariffs come into play. Now I really want to stress this. I have to stress this because this is how it's working. And I don't know why. Well, I know why the media is trying to convince people, but I don't know why people are not. Hi, Angela, by the way. Welcome. Good to see you. So people are just not getting it. They're just not getting it. And I get it. Here's the thing. The media is trying to throw you for a loop. America's media is trying to throw you for a loop. If you're looking at MSNBC, CNN, all that stuff, they got the Trump derangement syndrome. Canadian news is Trump deranged. It's unbelievable. And I'm even seeing it in other places that are like typically, you know, more based people are going to Trump deranged. It's unreal. Now, I think those would be the first ones to flip and turn around and start to see it for what it is. But this is the thing that everyone's trying to confuse you over. That they saying that Donald Trump he's all over the place. It's supposed to be this date and then it's that date and then it moves and it changes and then it's going to be this much and it's going to be that much and what are we going to do? Yeah, even Pierre got TDS. That's true. It's unreal. And that it's not a good look. It's not a good look for sure. But yeah, propaganda works. It works. It absolutely works. It is the current thing. It's the current thing. Some people I love dearly are Trump deranged. I don't know how to help them. And here's how I'm trying. I'm trying to help people with this one. So the tariffs are one of these things where it's like, okay, the first round of tariffs is 25% on all goods. And Danielle Smith managed to carve out energy from Alberta down to 10%. And even some of the automotive sector was able to carve out some things in Southwestern Ontario. That's a thing. Because what did they do? They went to the negotiation table. But at the same time, at the end of the day, this was a punitive tariff for reasons. And the reasons were the border. The border is porous. I know the U.S. is supposed to have, they're supposed to be taking care of the border as well, but so is Canada. And Donald Trump just got into office, and of course Biden wasn't taking care of the border, so Donald Trump is starting to take care of the border. Now that's the thing. It's the F word, the bad word that you're not allowed to say here, that narcotic that is no good. That's an issue, as well as the bad guys. The bad guys. That sounds like tourist, but they're not tourists. There's another in the middle of that word, and they've been coming through the Canadian border at higher levels than ever recorded. It's insane. And they're way more than through the Mexican border. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous how many of them are coming. And how are they getting into Canada? Well, yeah, terrorismo. That's right. Those guys. They're coming over, and they're coming over through our real lax immigration system. And they're coming in to the United States. Some of them are even coming in with Canadian passports. This is no good. This is tourists go, yeah, that's it. So this is what the whole first round of tariffs was about. Now, the ones that are coming on April 2nd, and he chose April 2nd because he didn't want people to think it was an April Fool's joke. That round of tariffs is reciprocal tariffs. Now, you can't argue with this because there's no argumentation, because Canadian politicians have been walking all over the country and getting on radio and getting on the megaphone and saying, we're going to reciprocate. We're going to put reciprocal tariffs on the United States. And it's like, okay, well, when Donald Trump put, 25% tariffs on let's say steel and aluminum, how are you going to reciprocate? Are you going to drop the tariffs to a lower number than are already in place? Because there are already tariffs on steel and aluminum. Let's get this up here. Let's get this up on the screen. Just to be clear, these are tariffs that Canada imposed on the U.S. for years, even before Trump ran for his first mandate. And there's some huge ones: dairy 270%, cheese 245%, butter 298%, chicken 238%. This is crazy. But look. Steel, 25%. Aluminum, 45%. So you're going to reciprocate on the 25% tariff on aluminum by dropping it? No, you're saying you're going to add more tariffs. What you don't want to tell Canadians is what we've been doing forever. And yes, the source is Global Affairs Canada. This isn't some made-up data. How about Canada place 1,000% tariffs on Chinese? That's it. This is a problem. So yeah, the second round of tariffs is not even just aimed at Canada. And this is the first time I've actually had to say this in my life, because maybe it just was never clear to me, or it's a new thing. Tell me in the chat, is this a new thing, or is this just never been clear to me? Canadians, of course, this is generality. It's not everyone. Canadians are freaking full of themselves. Like, absolutely full of themselves. Like, it's all about you. It's the world revolves around you and this. Is this like an Ottawa thing? I don't know. I'm hearing it from all over the damn place. I'm getting this a lot. Do a poll. Let's do a poll, folks. Let's make this a thing. Okay, engage with your audience. Start a Q&A, start a poll. Okay. Have Canadians always been full of themselves? Question. Yes or no? Or I'm going to say this is new or old news. Starting the poll. Let's start this poll. Is this a thing? Is this a new thing, or is this been a long-standing thing? Because I am seeing it at its utmost. The utmost amount. Oh, look at it's bouncing back and forth. Holy cow. Okay, I'm liking this one. I like to see when the polls jump around. They jump around. This is a new thing. This is an old thing. I know that being a dual citizen, like, I know when people would find out I'm American, I would get different attitudes from people for a lot of my life. That part of it's not new, but this whole thing where it's like, well, Trump is putting tariffs on every country in the world in a reciprocal fashion. Well, how dare you do this to Canada? This is awful. Why would you do this? Wait, didn't he say reciprocal? if Canada's good, then we got nothing to worry about. You tell Canadians, you know, there are serious tariffs on American goods. And they're like, nah, there isn't. And then you give them the stats. You give them the statistics. And you say it. This is crazy. Tariffs are stupid. Yeah, tariffs are stupid. Tariffs are stupid. These tariffs are stupid. And I gotta stress this one. I really gotta stress this one. Because here it is. Here's the tweet where Donald Trump actually put this out for everyone to understand it on the level, right? Clyde, you're officially an old man. This is an old thing. It was just before, and it's younger generation now. It is the younger generation now. It's crazy. All of this stuff is just insane to me. It is insane to me. It's this, because they won't talk about this. No one is willing to talk about this. Let's have a listen. On trade, I've decided for the purposes of fairness that I will charge reciprocal tariff, meaning whatever countries charge the United States of America, we will charge them no more, no less. Wow. Doesn't that sound awesome? Doesn't that sound awesome? Lamau, y'all remember Nortel and the U.S. sentiment. Selective blindness. There you go. Nice is euphemism for passive aggressive. Holy cow. I'm hearing about this more and more and more about people who have actually dealt with Canadians and went, yeah, you know what I mean? So we will charge them no more, no less. This is the trade decision that they've been making. Now, for the purpose of the United States policy, we will consider countries that use the VAT system, so the value-added tax, which is far more punitive than a tariff, to be similar to that of a tariff, sending merchandise or product or anything by any other name through another country for the purposes of unfairly harming America will not be accepted. And this is the idea of, you know, China doing cheap Chinese cars and making them in Mexico to flood the American market. That's economic warfare. That's one way of doing things. In addition, we'll make provisions for subsidies provided by countries in order to take economic advantage of the United States. Likewise, provisions will be made for non-monetary tariffs and trade barriers that some countries charge in order to keep our products out of their domain, or if they do not even let U.S. businesses operate. We're able to accurately determine the cost of these non-monetary trade barriers. It is fair to all. No other country can complain, and in some cases, if a country feels that the United States would be getting too high a tariff, all they have to do is reduce to or terminate their tariff against us. There are no tariffs. There are no tariffs if you manufacture or build your product in the United States. So move your company to America, is what he's saying. If you don't like the tariffs, if you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, don't manufacture in Canada or Mexico, he's saying. This is a thing. For many years, the U.S. has been treated unfairly by other countries, both friend and foe. The system will immediately bring fairness and prosperity back to the previously complex and unfair system of trade. America has helped many countries throughout the years at great financial cost. It is now time that these countries remember this and treat us fairly, a level playing field for American workers. I have instructed my Secretary of State, the Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of the Treasury, and United States Trade Representative to do the work necessary to deliver reciprocity to our system of trade. This is where we're at with this. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. It's about fairness. But the problem is Canada doesn't want fairness because that would change this deal. You get what I'm saying? This is where I'm at with that. Now, we got a couple of super chats here. Rare1AB with a $5 super chat says, Canadians think that because they're nice, they're somehow better. We're only nice because we've had the blessing of benefiting in the shadow of the United States. That's one take. Diane Sylvain with a $20 super chat says, Canadians were taught to hide their inferiority complex about Canada versus USA by media and turned into a superiority complex. It's now being weaponized and turned into a frenzy, especially with Trump. And it's gross, and it's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. Nux for Cup with a $20 super chat saying, so I watched an interview on CBC today. Yes, I said CBC. Yes, you're watching CBC. Got it. With one of the representatives who went to Washington with Ford. He stated they came out understanding the April 2 tariffs are a global policy, not an attack on Canada. That's because they're changing their tune. Doug Ford no longer needs to get elected. You get where we're going with this? This is a thing. Have you heard of the possibility of new immigration laws affecting Canadians who are traveling to the U.S. for more than 30 days? Yes, I have heard about it. I showcased that on one of my videos recently. And yeah, it's coming into effect. And this is real. This is real. People are going to have to deal with this now. I mean, other countries have dealt with this for a long time. And this is why I'm saying, like, Canada, man, wake up to the great deal you got. Wake up to how awesome it's been for so long. And stop with this attitude like we're being hard done by. Some crap like that. Like, the people that are doing us bad, a disservice, are our political leaders right now. And they're convincing people to do some really asinine things. Really, really asinine things. It's unbelievable. Entitled. There you go. Entitled. Are you entitled to this? Now, what's coming next, though, is not something that Canadians are going to like. They're not going to love this. But I'll tell you what, Americans are going to love this. Americans are absolutely going to love this. And for the longest time, I was like really against this idea because I come from libertarian sort of sensibilities, and I don't like tariffs. I really don't like tariffs because they're trade barriers, and I don't like trade barriers. I want to see more free trade, not less. But what's being pitched here is the idea of a external revenue service by Donald Trump. He's saying an external revenue service would be the way to go because then they could, after balancing the budget by cutting so much of the crap, waste, fraud, and abuse, then they can turn around and they can put, and I'm not talking steep, I'm talking light tariffs on all of the world. All of the world that wants to trade with the United States, there's a tariff to enter into the market. And if you don't want to pay those tariffs, the idea is come move your company to the United States of America. Now, do you consider that fair? Do you think that's a fair assessment? Just let me know in the chat. Do you think that's a kind of a fair thing? Because I want to get your understanding of this before I give a good analogy. I'd like to know, do you think that it's fair that the United States would put a tariff on incoming goods rather than taxing the citizens of the country? That there would remove the federal income tax and trade that for an entrance fee. An entrance fee, there you go, an entrance fee into the economy of the United States of America. You're from a foreign country, you're entering with your business, you're getting in there. That's the thing. Now, I see a bunch. Free the markets. Let them go. It's fair. Yes. How is that bringing jobs back to America? Oh, that's how he's bringing back jobs to America. Yeah, he's encouraging companies, don't operate in foreign countries if you want to do business with America. Now, of course, Americans want to do business with the world and sell other countries this stuff. And perhaps this will be the new model. Who knows? What if this becomes the new model around the world where all the countries go, hey, that's a great idea. Let's get rid of the income tax and not tax our citizens. Just anyone who wants to enter our market, they have to pay a service fee. They're paying a service fee. Now, here's the analogy. Hear me out. you're a mall owner, right? You own a mall, a shopping center, and you put a lot of work into it. You put a lot of capital into it. You built the place. You made it a thing. You want it to be a revenue generating endeavor. You want to make some sort of profit from it. So how do you make profit if you're a mall owner? What does a mall owner do? Well, the mall invites entrepreneurs to come in and rent the spaces so that they can, do their retail business, and you are the draw. The mall is the draw. You're the guy who's created the thing so that it draws patrons in. And of course, there's a reciprocal kind of relationship, or at least what would you call it? A symbiotic relationship with the people who rent from the mall and the mall owners themselves, because they have to all want to do well. They have to all want to do well so that the mall owner does well, and so does the guy that's renting the retail space. You got all your little shops, right? But now, let's just say a guy comes in and he's like, hey, I got watches. I got Rolexes. Would you like a Rolex? Would you like to pick up one of these things, right? Well, what would you think? How, as the mall owner, you find out about this guy and you're like, dude, you're just coming in here and you're reaping the benefits selling your products, but you're not paying me any rent to be here. And all the other people here are paying rent to be here. And you're just showing up and you're selling products and you're getting all the benefits of being in this place where I've drawn all these people from all over the town to come into this marketplace. Get lost. No way. I don't want that. I don't want that here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a rule that you can't do that. And if you come and you do that, well, here, how about this? You can rent a kiosk if you can't afford to rent the whole thing. Why don't you rent this little area? Newcomer entrepreneur. Hey, there you go. Right? And this is the idea that, hey, maybe they don't want people coming in and just usurping this, like, I'm from the mall next door. I'm from the mall next door, and it sucks. And I pay a lot of rent at the other place, but it draws nobody. I'm not willing to move out of that place, but I'm just gonna sell my product over here, and you should be totally fine with it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So yeah, want to put rents on this? Want to put a fee, or just move your business over to that new mall, the other mall? When we get an election, your honest thoughts as of today? My honest thoughts as of today, there's no plan for an election. That's my thoughts. I think that the Liberal Party assumes that the Liberal election was their election. They don't want to do it. October. Seeing Winiska is saying October. I agree. There's no plans for an election. No, there's no plans. And I mean, there could become plans if they find it politically advantageous to do so. But I don't think that they have any plans. And Jagmeet Singh, you see it. He's on board with keeping him around. He's on board with keeping Carney and the exact administration, the same cabinet as before. And they still look like a penetrated cabinet. They penetrated the cabinets. But let's get into something here. So I'm talking about the tariffs, and I'm talking about America and the way things are going. This was the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Doug Ford, because this is the thing. Canada's acting all tough. They're coming out there and they're saying, we're tough. We're gonna get them. We're gonna get you, and we're gonna do our thing. And they're doing it to win over favor for elections. They don't have the same attitude when they go down to the United States. And have a listen to this.
So that's what I'm working for. So you're saying when it looks chaotic and unpredictable from the outside, that there actually is a master plan when it comes to these tariffs?
It is not chaotic. And the only one who thinks it's chaotic is someone who's being silly. He said reciprocal tariffs.
Nobody expected him to announce 50% tariffs this morning.
He needed to break some guy in Ontario who said he was going to tax American energy 25%. The President of the United States in the White House says, "Oh, no, you won't," and breaks him. Breaks him in what? By a tweet and a truth. And you think that's chaotic? You know what I think that is? I think that is the thank God we have a president who's taking care of us. Because if you were in one of those states and you thought your energy prices were going to go up 25%, and you said, "Where's the president?" and all of a sudden he came down like thunder to make that end, you'd say, cool. I'm glad that's the guy in the White House. And that's what we've got.
Until the mall owner shakes down businesses for rent and percent of your year-end profits. Well, that's the whole idea, right? That the taxing the citizenry is what ultimately they're trying to get away from. Will that work? Will it work? Will it be the External Revenue Agency? I don't know. I don't know if that's what's going to end up. But I love this because it's such a different story than what we heard in Canadian news. What? I thought Doug Ford was big and bad and he got him to step down because he threatened to shut off the power and did all this stuff. Well, it was 25% surcharge on energy, but it started off with a threat of cutting it off entirely. A threat of cutting it off entirely. That's where it was originally. And of course, this got a lot of people's attention. Including what was it? They were talking about they were going on about Mr. Sunshine Baby in the news recently. And I thought I had the article up here ready to go, but I don't. So David Eby actually, this is crazy. So I'm gonna search for this real fast because I did have it, and I know it's on my profile. But David Eby actually even mentioned me. I don't know if he was confusing between me and Mr. Sunshine Baby, but this was something that was actually said today. Where are we? Right here. So this is guilt by association is now, this is how Team Canada operates, of course. Maybe I'll play the clip and then we'll get into the meaning of what's being said here.
I cannot understand how you can sit on a panel with a YouTuber that says, I'm going to encourage everybody to buy as much American as possible to undermine the boycott of American goods. Like what the Conservative Party is thinking right now defies explanation. How you can welcome as a patriot a YouTuber that says that cutting off Doug Ford's efforts to cut off electricity to the United States to get the attention of the president were an act of war, and that the president should revisit harm on Canadians in response, and we get everything we deserve. Like I can't explain that. I don't understand it.
Okay, so what was said there was a mix-up between two things, or maybe he was trying to say two different things. Now, Mr. Sunshine Baby was in the news because he called Doug Ford a fat pig and said that cutting off the power to the United States is an act of war. It is. It actually is. And he threatened to do this. And that's true. It's true. They had a freak out in the parliament because Mr. Sunshine Baby was, or not in the parliament, in the legislative assembly, because Mr. Sunshine Baby was there. He was there and they had a freak out right in front of him. And I just only imagine what Jasper was thinking at the time. Now, this was a mix-up because, or it wasn't a mix-up. The first person he was talking about was me. And this is my tweet. Because I said this was me he was talking about at the beginning, and I still stand by this. I said, buy American, choose American-made products. I put a tweet out, and this was a while ago. This is February 3rd. So this means they were digging through my timeline because they found out that I was speaking at an event with one of the opposition members. And so they dug through my timeline and they found this tweet, and heavens to Betsy, they're so offended by the words of a YouTuber from British Columbia that happened to say something that's very true. And here's the thing. I said, I'm going to do my best to buy American products so the idiots who are buying into Trudeau's Team Canada BS have less impact. Yeah. I'm going to do it because you know why? I love my brothers and sisters to the South. They're my fellow citizens. I love the trade relationship that I don't love that we've always had, because I think Canada's always been pretty bad with the tariffs and all that stuff. And I hope that Canada frees up the economy. That would hurt, but it needs to happen. But so I said these words. And so what did he do? So here he is, he's playing this game. And it's a schmarmy, like, ultra, yeah, I'm sorry, there's a lot of estrogen in this dude, man. And it's very much an effeminate, passive aggressive game that he's playing here. And I'm not gonna lie, he's been successful at this, because this is what actually led to a conservative getting kicked out of the party in British Columbia. It's crazy. This was the news. I think I have this up here. Dallas Brody. So Dallas Brody was one of the MPs that got the boot. So John Rustad actually booted this MP, posted about her a video that, if you actually look at the entirety of the video, is not what was said, but they used a video to get this woman kicked out of the thing. The NDP did this. It's deceptive. It's a lie. But she was kicked out. But she was in a podcast where they were talking about the fact that there were no bodies found in the whole excavation of Indigenous graves. Here we go. Canada spent $260 million to find graves of Indigenous kids hidden at churches. The excavations are over. 0 bodies. This is the reality of it. And what happens? So a woman points this out in a podcast, who is a member of the Conservative Party of British Columbia, and she was ejected. And because of that, 2 other MLAs left. Absolutely left. And what did they do? They made this clip of her saying something completely out of context. And this is what it was. Shocking video of Dallas Brody calling her conservative BC opposition House leader for joining the NDP and criticizing her comments about residential schools. She later mocks the truths many residential school survivors shared. Is that what she's doing?
But, I've had people, I guess there's a person in our party who's Indigenous, and she, was super angry and went to town and joined the NDP to call me out. And then and some people in our party, we've actually brought in some people who, I'm just going to say this, I think belong in the NDP. You know that if we don't have truth.
That's interesting. She's saying, like, some of the people that came in on the conservative side, they actually belong in the NDP. Like, they're actually ideologically aligned with the NDP. And that's the thing. So then she says this.
Not his truth, her truth, my grandmother's truth, or, this whole thing about my truth and your truth, my truth. This stuff has to stop. But,
So they cut that. And then they posted that. What was she actually saying in the actual podcast? Because here it is, without all the cuts. Let's get just a little bit more of the context to it.
Person who's not liked or something. I don't know. So sort of like the Law Society of BC.
Studio 778 with a $6.99 super chat says the new cans has no women's and gender equality ministry. Well, that's a win. There you go. There you go.
He did to James, saying, well, we can't believe he said these things, but, we can't control everybody. It's the very mean thing to do. Oh, I can't believe he said this, And, he gets sort of oh, we're going to put distance between us and this horrible person. So similar things happened to me this week in the legislature. But the interesting part is that the emails started rolling into me from literally across the country, and they're running at about 99% thank yous. Okay, so we're not talking about even 70-30, 60-40, nothing like that. Not even close. The most vociferous hatred or anger I've received has been from within my own party.
That sucks.
Yes, the Christine Boyle in the NDP, sure. But I've had people, I guess there's a person in our party who's Indigenous, and she, was super angry and went to town and joined the NDP to call me out. So I've given a couple of interviews, and I've spoken just like this. I believe that I do know that if we don't have truth, not his truth, her truth, my grandmother's truth, or this whole thing about my truth and your truth, my truth. This stuff has to stop. It's like, it's got to be the truth.
The truth.
Because I've been in court. I was in court for years.
Why would they cut this out? Why would they cut that part of it out? Saying it can't be my truth, your truth. It should be the truth. And this is what's important in court. Why would the conservatives even cut this out? This is crazy. Yeah, based. Totally. It's about what is the truth. The whole point of any of this is about getting to the truth. And this is about a bunch of activists coming after this woman and saying this stuff. She's spot on. Shameful. Yeah. Nux for Cup with a $5 super chat says, that's what happens when you try to combine old liberals and conservatives and try to sell it as one party. This is what it's looking like. But I'm completely disappointed in John Rustad. I was super energized only a week before because I listened to his speech, and then I see this. Like, what is that? And I don't blame the two others for leaving the party. What the heck is going on? You're not going to win elections by capitulating to leftoids. You're not going to get that. Capitulating to leftoids. So where do we end up with all of this? Where do we end up? Well, we end up in a situation where they're just going to keep asking for more. They're just going to keep at it. They're just going to keep going. And this is what's happening. They're not going to stop. You think like, oh, we got rid of that. We got rid of that one lady who said a thing, and we put it out of context, and we got rid of him. Can you please just stop coming after us, NDP? Can you please just stop coming after us and let us just be conservatives and just have our conservative values and have our seats in the parliament? Or sorry, in the legislative assembly? You think that's going to happen? No, absolutely not. This emboldens them. They're like, hey, we got rid of some. We got rid of 3. They have to sit as independents now. Oh, sweet. We got rid of them. So what are we going to do? We're going to go after more. We're going to go after more of them. And that's how it works. Where's the website? I got to pull up the website. We Unify. I'll just pull it up on Twitter. Hold on a second. This is how it works. They've emboldened them, and now they're just like, hey, we've got the run of things. Let's go attack more of them on this stuff. Now, I recently was at this event. I went to this event for We Unify, right? And it was a lot of fun. It was great. Public speaking, I mean, I do this all the time, obviously, online, but in front of a live audience is a totally different game. It's a totally different game, and it's a fun one. I enjoy it. I had some fun with that. But who else was there? Dr. Anna Kindy. Dr. Anna Kindy is a sitting MLA with the conservatives on that side. So I'm pretty sure you can get 2 and 2 now. They're associating Dr. Anna Kindy with me. Dr. Anna Kindy, guilt by association, me, because I have opinions. which I have a right to my opinions. Thank you very much, David Eby. I have a right to my opinions. If I want to support American products, I will support American products. I have a toolbox at work that says Snap-on. I love it. I love it. Guess where those things are made? They're made in the good old USA. I buy American tools all the damn time. All the time. Of course I'm going to support our neighbors. What are you talking about? I'm not going to have this crazy spat for, well, it's all for political reasons. All of it is for political reasons. So here we are. We've got this little back and forth, and this is what led to these comments that Mr. Sunshine Baby showcased on X. And this is full context now. Now, you know, this is the tweet that I made, which I'm not running to hide, and I'm not going to try to delete it from the internet. I made that tweet. I said it. I absolutely said it. I still believe in it. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm not telling people you have to do that, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my best to buy American products so that the idiots who are buying into Trudeau's Team Canada BS can have less impact. The same people who said not too long ago that Canada doesn't even have a core identity or any of this stuff. We're post-nationalists. We don't believe in national unity. But now it's like, oh, but for political reasons, we want you to do this thing for us. And we want you to ruin an entirely great relationship that you have with your neighbors to the south, which I happen to be one of them. I happen to be American. You've been initiated into the attempt at cancellation. Yeah, they're going to try. Come at me, brah. Come at me. Come at me with your cancellation. I'm shameless. And this is what I want to see with our conservatives. Is it too much to ask to be shameless in your advocacy for conservative values? Is it too much to ask to be shameless in your rhetoric instead of cowering and then getting rid of, oh, I gotta distance myself from this MP because something she said was taken out of context, but when you get down to it, it was actually very true. And maybe it's not sensitive. Maybe it's not sensitive for some people. They can't hear the truth. It just happens to be the truth. That's the reality. That's the reality. But here we go. Here we go. She's been canceled. She's been canceled. They're trying to cancel me. It's not about canceling me. They don't care about canceling me. That's not who they're trying to cancel. They're trying to cancel Dr. Anna Kindi. Which, by the way, her speech was fantastic. Her speech was fantastic. Just look up We Unify. You can see my speech. You can see her speech. You can see Dr. Makis, his speech as well. And probably the panel. I got to see if they have the panel up there. We've got Breakthrough Mindset with a $5 super chat. It says, what podcast was Dallas Brody on? It was called the Francis Widowson podcast. I got this because shout out to Wyatt Claypool. He sent me the link to this. He found out where this was from. I'm going to put a link in the chat for everybody who wants to go check it out. So if you want to go watch this podcast for yourself, boom, there it is. This is Canada. The truth is not welcomed. No. Bonnie Clyde took 2,000 bullets. We got him good. Was it 2,000? No, it wasn't 2,000 bullets, was it? This is crazy. Tariff Karens come out and that COVID freaking is done. Yeah, it's crazy. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Where, you know, now you know the context. So now you know the context of where this comment came from. He's going after Dr. Anna Kindi now. It's not over. The BC Conservatives have capitulated. And where did it get them? It got them in a worse position than if they never capitulated. Here they are trying to cancel another one of their things for having the audacity to sit next to me while I spoke my mind and said things on stage by using my right to free speech.
cannot understand how you can sit on a panel with a YouTuber that says, I'm going to encourage everybody to buy as much American as possible to undermine the boycott of American goods. Like what the Conservative Party is thinking right now.
So if you're gonna paraphrase, at least paraphrase correctly, I said that I'm gonna do that. So are you insinuating, David Eby, that any time you say that you're going to do something, that you're advocating that everybody else do that thing? Because I know how to word a sentence. I know how to put a sentence together. That's not what I said. I said I'm going to do my best to buy American products so that the idiots who are buying into Trudeau's Team Canada BS have less impact. Yes, I'm going to undermine your boycott of the United States. Yes, I'm going to do that. That is my purview, and I'm happy to do that. Absolutely. And this is petty. Like it doesn't get much more petty than this. It is really, really petty. I have to look up this clip because this was on my, I had to put it on my timeline. Let me find this one here. I want to see where that tweet ended up going. But there was another clip of David Eby today, and it's absolutely insane how petty this stuff actually gets. Found it. Okay, pop this up in a second. Where are we in the chat? Nux for Cup with the $5 super chat says they is the 2025 version of Trudeau's "Sir on a plane or on a train" speech. You talking about this, like the, what was it? What was the speech? You can't sit on a plane or a train if you're not vaccinated. We're not going to allow that. Yeah. This is it drives me nuts. And it gets better. It gets better. Here we are. Hell with the environment. We have a petty spat to perpetuate. Here we go. We got David Eby, the premier of British Columbia, said he was removing Teslas from its EV rebate program because of Elon Musk in violation of the Canadian Human Rights Act. Perhaps Elon should ban Canada from SpaceX and Starlink in retaliation. Or you should take David Eby to the court. But will that work very well? So get this. This is a real thing. This is a real thing that's happening right now. In the government of BC and BC Hydro are taking action to prevent to preference Canadian goods over our rebate program going forward, and to exclude, where practicable, U.S. produced goods. As of March 12th, 2025, Tesla products, vehicles, electric vehicles, chargers, energy storage batteries, and inverters are not eligible for Clean BC and BC Hydro rebates. If you purchased or have received pre-approval for your Tesla product before March 12th, you can still qualify for the rebates, but it will be processed as normal. This isn't banning American goods, because I'll tell you what, if you bought a Chevy Volt, it's an American product. If you bought any of these other manufacturers, they're not Canadian goods. They're American goods, but they're just going after Elon Musk in this. You don't believe me that that's specifically what's going on?
Premier, the measures regarding the Tesla chargers, are those only for Tesla, or will they apply to other American manufacturers? And can you explain the reasoning of why you're taking that measure?
Yeah, it's just for Tesla, and it's because of Elon Musk.
Premier, the measures regarding...
It's just for Tesla, and it's because of Elon Musk. Petty! Petty! This is so petty. This is unbelievable. Canadians, why? British Columbians, why? Why are we allowing this? Why is this being allowed? Glitching? What's glitching? Skipping? Wait, what's glitching? What's skipping? Was the audio doing the glitchy skippy thing? Let me know. Or is my whole stream doing the glitchy skippy thing? Let me restart the audio engine. I'll do this again. Okay. Hold on. This should take effect now. Let's play this again so you guys can all hear it without the glitchy skippy thing.
Premier, the measures regarding the Tesla chargers, are those only for Tesla, or will they apply to other American manufacturers? And can you explain the reasoning of why you're taking that measure?
Yeah, it's just for Tesla, and it's because of Elon Musk.
End of story. Like, you didn't even follow that up with anything. It's just because of Tesla, and it's because of Elon Musk. Ugh. Why is it that we put up with this? Why is it that we put up with this? This is the most embarrassing thing. I've never been so embarrassed to be from Canada. I've never been so embarrassed to be from Canada. But let's have a look at the poll. Who won? Who won in this poll? End the poll. We've got it. We've got it here. Have Canadians always been so full of themselves? Yeah, it's old news. Yeah, they have been. They've always been so full of themselves. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Just because Elon is involved with the administration, did he say something to piss our new Canadians off? Did he? No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. It's just because he's part of the administration. It's like, it's so ridiculous. And guess what? There was vandalism in the United States over this. Hold on a second. What do we got here? Studio 778 with 699 super chat says, let's get Elon and talk to Bezos and Gates to shut down Amazon, AWS, and Windows 360 for government. Let petition Trump. That's funny. Not good though. Like, all of that. If Amazon and AWS services and Windows and everything shut down in Canada, I mean, this is what they want. This is what EB and all these pricks want. They want this kind of thing. This is what they're looking forward to. And it's so crappy. And to hell with the environment. We have a petty spat to perpetuate. Absolutely. Darshan Maharaja, replying to this tweet, says, because fighting climate change is a grift. Nova Scotia had to write off $48 million of taxpayer money it had invested in a windmill manufacturing plant in the province because Ontario required wind towers to be manufactured inside Ontario. They're cronies. They're all a bunch of corrupt cronies. They're handing off, contracts to their friends, that sort of thing. It's insane. Nux for Cup with a $5 super chat says, we spent a decade trying to get Canadians to switch to EVs and now want to kill the #1 provider. It's because they don't care. It's all a grift. It's all a grift. It's all corruption. It's all this kind of BS. And I pointed out right after, I said wind is definitely a grift. Hydroelectric dams work great and are a renewable resource. My dad was actually involved in one of these things. He was living in a town I can say Ontario, but I don't want to get into too much into the specifics. But he's an engineer. He's retired, and so they asked him, "Hey, would you come in and do this thing? We want to get the approval for a grant to do this make work project where we can get wind turbines." And it'll be a huge government grant, and it'll be a whole thing. And what does he do? He does the research. He finds out that the town had an average wind speed of 5 kilometers an hour. And it wasn't hard to get this data. He went out there, he looked it around, and he said, "No, these things won't turn. They won't turn. It's not worth the tax dollars." And what did they say? They were mad at him. You were supposed to give us a green light. You were supposed to... It's a turnkey project. It's unreal. Jordan Cundy with a $2 super chat says, so sad Vancouver and Victoria decided BC elections. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad too. I'm very sad about it. Very sad about it. And, you know, there's always talk of like the 51st state stuff. And, you know, genuinely, like some people are really on board with it, you know? Now, personally, like my opinion is I'm an American citizen, so it's already a 51st state. It's just a more expensive one to be in, and this is largely why I'm packing up, because my rent went up by 20 grand this year. So yeah, I'd like to go buy some American products. That's for sure. The big wind turbine on Grouse Mountain we can all see everywhere. It's never spinning. Yeah, because it's all a grift. It's all a grift. So. And it can be windy there. It's crazy. There's got to be something wrong with it. Greenland is 51. So yeah, the 51st state thing. Now my opinion is like, yeah, again, I'm an American citizen, so the American in me doesn't want a California in the voter demographic. They just don't want that. That's not in my purview. But there are people that are excited about this. And some people are getting themselves on the news and whatnot. We're going to have this guy on. This is Ryan Hemsley. He's coming on the show on Monday. So it's going to be the three of us. Ryan, Jasmine, myself. So definitely tune into that. Put that on your calendar. 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern. We'll be podcasting at that time. That's going to be good. But here he was on the news again, talking about this.
President Trump remains obsessed, I think that's the right word to use, with turning Canada into our 51st state.
Obsessed.
Here he is today.
Only works as a state. It's so perfect as a great and cherished state. Keeping "O Canada," the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Funny. Keep it. But it'll be free state. One of our greatest states. Maybe our greatest state.
All right, so who knows if he's serious or if he's just trolling? He's been known to do that. It's objectively
He's not serious
funny
about the
either
greatest
way.
state thing.
That's why South Park made fun of the idea years ago.
Okay, I can't play this song because I understand copyright far too well, because I'm a YouTuber. Caged Crow with a $13.99 super chat says, "You will own nothing, you will own nothing and be happy and pay." Ordos Wef said this. What? Ordos Wef said this and will be enacting this year at Trump can save us. Well, that's what eliminate. I mentioned their podcast earlier. So they had a video that was talking specifically about that, and it was the idea that, you know, the World Economic Forum. Ryan. Sorry, I'm going to pause that for just a minute. So the World Economic Forum has been an economic hitman in Canada, destroying the nation, trying to do elevate. Sorry, I don't know how I forgot that. Elevate. There's another YouTuber that I call is Eliminate, and he's funny. I like his show, and that's why I got confused there. But they're saying that, you know, the World Economic Forum came in as a hitman. They did this in Sri Lanka, right? They convinced them to buy all this stuff, do all these things, and then they wanted a whole new port, so they got them to pay with debt this huge new port. And then what did they do? They convinced them to switch their agriculture to completely organic, meaning no fertilizer. Their entire industry was based on the sale of tea, tanked, and they lost everything, and all of their capital got scooped up by China. It's intentional. This stuff is intentional. It happens. It absolutely happens. Well, I'm falling behind here in the chats. My bad. Diane Sylvain saying for 10, yesterday Libs sent $84 million to Syria, new Al-Qaeda government to establish diplomatic relations and lifted sanctions. Meanwhile, Christians killed in Syria. Crickets about that. Only Trump is bad. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane the amount of stuff there. I'm missing some of these chats, so let me hold on. Let me make sure I'm getting everything, because I don't want to do that. Yeah, okay. So that was the next one. Then Cage Crow says for $6.99, WEF says we will own nothing, and we will own nothing towing and be happy. It starts this year. Yes, we will own nothing and we will be happy. I don't think anyone will be happy. No, people will not be happy about that. Jordan Cundy with a $5 super chat says, if U.S. non us non I keep reading us as U.S. I'm sorry, there's so much U.S. in the news. If us non-dual citizens can't get into America, what's the good alternative? Poland? I don't know. There might be refugee status depending on for the United States, like people who actually want to come and breathe free. Who knows if that might be a thing. One WW guy, member for 17 months. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Says, what's happened to Canada is 100% by design. Jughead, Ford, Trudeau, Eby, working for Carney and Schwab, WEF plan all along. Politicians are traitorous criminals. Yeah. I'm in agreement with that. I totally agree with you. This is all by design. This isn't an accident. Nobody could accidentally do that bad to our economy. I just don't buy that. I don't think it could be that bad. Fun video about WEF and our bleak future on monitoring our brainwaves at work. Question mark 337 video. YouTube ready for brain transparency short. Yeah, they've been talking about this kind of stuff. They're such like, oh, they're utopians over there at the World Economic Forum. But let's get into this. So this is Ryan Helmsley, and he's been managing to get himself onto the news to talk about this idea of the 51st state. Of course, Canada is the 51st state. News for the GOP. Well, here's a bit of the truth of that.
Republican Party. Based on their population size, Canada would get 2 Senate seats and 55 House seats. That adds up to 57 electoral college delegates. So Canada would have more electoral votes than California, and Canada is more liberal than California.
Yeah,
but
it's
still,
not good. It's not good.
1 in 10 of our northern neighbors thinks U.S. statehood is a good idea. One of them with us now, Ryan Helmsley, advocate for Canada to become the 51st state. Ryan,
I would say that the number is bigger than 1 in 10, but let's see how it pans out.
And welcome. I kind of understand why there's a group in Canada who wants to become part of America. Does America want Canada?
Whether we become a 51st state or we become a territory, either way, one thing you do want is all of our resources. That's obvious right now. Donald Trump needs every bit of our resources. That's the one piece of leverage that Canada has over the United States right now. And that poll that you are quoting is from January, so there is something to say there, and that a lot has changed in Canada. There's been recent polls out in the last few weeks that have that number closer to 10, 15, even 20%, which represents a huge portion of Canadians. So, you know, you might not want the people, but I know that you want the goods. So,
okay. Is there parts of Canada, should we carve off parts of Canada maybe?
No.
Okay, so we should take the whole thing.
Well, to take it or leave it scenario, there was a delegation from Alberta that just recently went to Washington, D.C. I've said it on local news. It's a complete waste of time. You're not going to piecemeal this. It's going to be all or nothing. And there's a growing sentiment. Like I said, it's grown since January from 10% upwards to 15 to 20%. Okay. That's a massive portion of the population.
So I'll leave this one. Actually, I'll leave a link in the chat for this one. If you want to hear more of what he has to say, there it is there. But he's going to be on the show come Monday. So check out the Monday podcast, because it's going to be Ryan Helmsley and Jasmine Lane. It's going to be a fun podcast. I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about the 51st state, the ideas of whether it could be a practical thing. or whether it'll get carved up. And this is part of the argument, the carved up argument. So this is a map. This is a map of it's obviously Michigan and and Wisconsin, but here's a chunk of Ontario that kind of peninsulas into American territory, right? It's where I grew up, right? It's the whole idea here. So everything from Kingston west is largely automotive sector. There's a lot of automotive stuff. There's a lot of cross-border business that happens in this whole area. And, a lot of it's at risk with this whole Canada reciprocating trade war. It's like, well, if you want all the tariffs to drop, maybe just take care of the border. I mean, but I digress. I've brought that up so many times now. That being said, the reciprocal tariffs are not going to be so good. But some people have been talking about this idea of just drawing a new line right there. How about America just takes that and the rest of Canada can go on, still be Canada? Why don't they go and do that? Now, I tested this out. I said, okay, this is the whole premise of Canada's economy is about to collapse because of we keep voting in Liberals, and we still got Liberals, and it doesn't look like there's an election anywhere near in sight. I don't see any signs of that happening. You just pointed out Canada's golden triangle. Yeah, it is Canada's golden triangle. Now, that being said, what if America just gave an offer to that part of the country? What if Trump said, I don't want all of Canada. Maybe I want Alberta, and I want that. I want that section, and then all the tariffs will be gone, or something, right? We'll make you an offer, or we'll just offer it to them. The tariffs are on, but you people, you get to not have the tariffs because you could be part of America. Now, I said, if you were given the option, if you say you lived in that area and you were given the option of losing your job, savings, pension, and way of life, many other things, having everything controlled, you can only buy alcohol from the state seller of alcohol, that's the LCBO, or perhaps keep your job, pay less taxes, have access to more and cheaper products and services, a free market, access to the United States. No, it's not. No, it's nothing like that. It's thought experiments, right? I'm not actually advocating for this. I'm saying a lot of people are. So, what would you choose? What would you choose? And man, did people get angry. But I did want to add one more thing. We could literally have our South Detroit. Born and raised in South Detroit. That's a real thing. But yeah, some people are pissed. Some people are like, yeah, I'd like to see it. Absolutely. Who knows? I like that. But this is where we're at right now. We're at a contentious time in Canadian history, and all of this stuff is great for political leaders to rally around and get their bases all riled up and get people angry, but it is not good for Canada long term. None of this is good for Canada long term. None of it. Becoming America's douchebag neighbor is not good for Canada. It's not good at all. It's not going to be good at all. I'm kind of curious of this one. The 51st state of America, 23rd province of China. Canada choose. 51st state all the way. We choose Canada. Oh, but what if that's not a choice anymore? Like this whole run up, Justin Trudeau and what he's done to the country has really done that. Clyde's its mascot being a walking, talking coffee cup that snorts coffee beans. What? No thanks. I want anything to do with even being analogized to those guys. That's not fun. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is where we're at with that. What do you guys think? How can Canada survive this? And I'm saying it's not Trump that we're trying to survive. It's our politicians that we're trying to survive right now. It's it's how badly we're messing things up. And you know, what would you expect from David Eby at all? What would you expect from David Eby? From the reports that I've read of his involvement with, you know, high ups in some serious criminal activity stemming from China. Yeah, I mean, you want to play guilt by association? Let's play guilt by association. Why are you meeting? Like, you're not just speaking on a panel with these guys. You're meeting up with them privately, that kind of thing. Yikes comes to mind. The word yikes comes to mind. So we're trying to survive. We're not trying to survive Trump's America. We're not trying to survive that at all. We're trying to survive the political class of this country. And that's what they were doing. That's what they're doing. The political class and their lapdogs, the mainstream media. I'd be getting kickbacks, of course. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he's enabling all of it. He's enabling all of it. But this is just my food for thought for tonight on this beautiful Friday evening. And we're already 2.5 hours into this live stream. And I want to keep a little bit of energy left for the after party. What's the after party? We always hang out in the Discord. This is what we do on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun if you are interested. We only make the Discord available during live streams. So if you couldn't find a link on another day, that's the thing. Clyde, drink more. Maybe I should. I barely touched any of this. It's crazy. So the link is only ever available during the live streams. Get yourself over there, join the Discord, hang out with us. The reason why we use Discord, it's not, you know, it really comes down to the fact that it's a private, it's not an open community where just anybody can just come in and you get all kinds of trolls or whatever. We get trolls, we kick them out immediately. We keep a tight ship on that stuff. And it's great because we can have good voice and video chats for everyone out there. It's a good time for people to come in and pitch their ideas to me or other members of the community and just continue the discussion. Too late for Discord for you? Okay, that's fine. But you can join the Discord and there's always conversation going on there all the time. It was great to see everyone tonight. It absolutely is. Thank you, Solar, and all the mods tonight for getting in here and protecting us from those very clever trolls. What was that? P, like same keystroke over and over again. That is so clever. Loved it. We need to do better, right, community? We need to get better trolls. I think the trolls that we're attracting are not of the highest caliber. I think we need to work harder as a community, and that's a thing. Sunshine Baby made Lurch angry. It sounds like both of us did at this point. Now we've both been mentioned by him. That's a thing. You mentioned Dio to Marty. Well, hold on a second. You mentioned Dio to Marty. What's your favorite Dio song? Holy Diver. It's a classic, of course. I love Holy Diver. That's the greatest. World WW guy with a $5 super chat. Simply, Canada is under attack and no one is coming to save us. The people need to stand up, take our country back from the traitors. No one's coming to save us, man. No one's coming to save us. But if we were to get taken over, I'd prefer it not to be China. Just throwing that one out there. Anyway, we're going to do this again next week. And don't forget to tune in on Monday. So Monday morning, of course, I'll have my usual videos out. But tune in Monday evening at 6:30 Pacific time. It's going to be a great podcast. I am especially looking forward to it. Ryan Hemsley will be on the show, as well as Jasmine Lane. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to catch it live because it's always just so much more fun live, especially when you get into the Q&A section of the live stream. It's all about the community. It's all about interacting with everybody. Love doing this with you guys. So head on over to Discord if you're so inclined to. If not, we'll see you soon enough. Enjoy your night. Good night, everybody, and have a great one. Everybody, keep on trucking.